Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Isaac Christopher Lubogo. Welcome to Sui Generis. We want to talk about artificial intelligence. What do we mean by artificial intelligence? Basically, it refers to the simulation of what they call human intelligence in machines, allowing them to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as understanding natural language or recognizing patterns, making decisions, and learning from experiences. So basically, AI, which is a short of artificial intelligence, are systems designed to mimic various aspects of human intelligence, such as problem solving, reasoning, and even perception. So listen, AI functions through various techniques and technologies, some of which include the following things that I'm going to discuss for you. And I'll place what I want to explain in context in terms of research. In terms of machine learning is a subject of AI that enables systems to learn from data without, with using what they call programmed or what they call logistical, not logistical, but analytical aspects that work in a concept called algorithms, and uses what they call neural networks. Neural networks are computational models inspired by the human brain. So they consist of what they call interconnected nodes or neurons that process and transmit information in terms of deep learning, which is a subfield of machine learning, and it uses deep neurons with multiple layers to extract complex features from the data. Now, something also important is what they call natural language processing, which is NLP, which is a branch of AI that focuses on enabling machines to understand, interpret, and even generate what they call human language. So NLP techniques are used in terms of chatbots or language translation, sentiment analysis, and even speech recognition. Another is in terms of what they call computer vision. Computer vision enables machines to interpret and understand visual information from the world, such as images or videos, and it is used in applications like facial recognition, object detection, and even autonomous vehicles. Then you could also argue it in terms of what they call expert systems. We may engage expert systems in terms of AI programs that actually use a knowledge base and rules to make decisions and even solve problems in specific domains, and they may mimic the expertise of human experts. Yeah. Then you could also look at in terms of what they call reinforcement learning. In reinforcement learning, AI agents basically learn to make decisions by interacting with an environment and receiving feedback in form of reward or even penalties. So they aim to maximize what they call cumulative rewards over time. Yeah? And then you could also comprehend it in terms of what they call data mining. Data mining basically involves the process of discovering patterns and insights from large data sets. So it often used in businesses and even scientific applications to make what they call informed decisions. Then an interesting one is what they call robotics. Robotics under AI is used to enable machines to perform what they call physical tasks and even make autonomous decisions. So robotics combines AI with what they call mechanical and electrical engineering to build intelligent machines. Yeah? And so, listen, the functioning of AI systems typically involves several steps, and we're going to go through the functioning of AI systems. It involves, step number one is what they call data collection. So AI systems require data to learn and make decisions. So data can actually be structured or unstructured and is gathered from various sources. Yeah. Number two, there's what they call data processing. Yeah, or data pre-processing. Now data is cleaned, transformed, and prepared for analysis. So this step basically involves removing noise, for example, handling missing data, and even standardizing the format. That's another important aspect. Then number three is what they call model training. AI models are actually trained using what they call algorithms and data. So during training, the models learn to recognize patterns and make predictions, and that is very, very important when it comes to AI. Then there's what they call inference. Now, once trained, the AI models are used to make predictions and perform tasks and even provide recommendations based on new or even unseen data. And then there's what they call feedback loop. So some AI systems use what they call feedback mechanisms to continuously improve their performance, such as reinforcement, learning agents that learn from their interactions. And that's another super important aspect in terms of AI. So what we're saying here is that AI can actually be applied to a wide range of domains, from healthcare and finance to transportation and even entertainment. So its capabilities continue to expand in terms of research and development in the field as it matures or grows. So we're going to try to discuss some artificial intelligence in details with specific examples of how it stimulates the human intelligence in various domains. Now, the most common one is what they call natural language processing, which is NLP. Examples are things like what they call chatbots or even rather called virtual assistants. Now, NLP is used to develop chatbots and virtual assistants like, for example, Apple's Siri or Amazon's Alexa and Google's Assistant. So these systems understand and respond to natural language queries. For instance, you can ask your virtual assistant to set reminders or answer questions or even have a casual conversation. Yeah. Number two, in terms of what they call computer vision. An example in terms of computer vision is what they call image recognition and autonomous vehicles. Yeah. Under this, computer vision allows AI systems to interpret visual data in terms of image recognition. So AI can actually classify objects in images, like identifying, for example, animals in photos or even detecting tumors in medical images. So autonomous vehicles use computer vision to navigate and avoid obstacles on the road. Yeah. Number three is what we call machine learning. An example of that is in terms of algorithms which are employed in recommendation systems used by platforms like Netflix, for example, or Amazon, or even Spotify. Yeah. So these systems analyze, for example, your past behavior and preferences to suggest movies, for example, or even products, or even music that you may like, mimicking human recommendations. Yeah. So I'm just trying to help you understand and comprehend how AI does operate. And then in terms of what they call expert systems, an example is in terms of medical diagnosis, for example. For example, in the field of healthcare, yeah, experts like expert systems, for example, like IBM or Watson, are even used for medical diagnosis. Yeah, so these AI systems access extensive medical knowledge and patient data to assist doctors in diagnosing diseases and suggesting treatment options. So that's another super important aspect. And then you could also argue it in terms of what they call reinforcement learning. For example, game playing. Yeah, reinforcement learning is demonstrated in AI's ability to play complex games, for example, like chess or even Go or even video games or even AlphaGo, for example. If these programs are developed by DeepMind, which was famously defeated, a world champion Go player. So these systems learn through trial and error and adapt strategies to maximize rewards. That's something you must comprehend as well. And then another important one is in terms of what they call natural language generation, which is the NLG. An example is in terms of what they call content generation. So AI-powered NLG systems like ChatGPT, for example, can generate human-like text. Now, these systems are used to create content for new articles or reports and even creative writing. For example, where they can generate poetry, even storytelling. Yeah, so that's something important. Now, if you're arguing as an example in terms of robotics, you could argue it in terms of what they call robotic surgery. AI can actually be integrated into what they call surgical robots, such as there's one they call the Da Vinci surgical system, which assists surgeons in performing precise and minimally invasive surgeries. So these robots can mimic human hand movements with high precision. Yeah, and then you could also talk about what they call sentiment analysis. As another area where AI is actually employed. An example is in terms of what they call social media monitoring. Sentiment analysis uses AI to analyze social media posts, for example, even customer reviews and contents to gauge public sentiments. For instance, companies that use sentiment analysis will understand customer feedback and even adjust their strategies accordingly. Yeah, and then you could argue it in terms of what they call language translation. An example is in terms of what they call Google Translate. Yeah, so AI-driven language translation services like Google Translate can actually translate text and even spoken language in real time. So these systems use what they call NLP techniques to understand and even generate text in multiple languages. Yeah, another important aspect is what they call speech recognition. Under this, we'll talk about what they call voice assistants. Yeah, so AI-based speech recognition systems are used in voice assistants like Amazon Echo, and they can convert spoken language into text and even execute commands, enabling hand-free control of devices and even appliances. Yeah. So listen, these examples, my friends, will kind of illustrate how AI mimics various aspects of human intelligence, from understanding language and recognizing patterns to making decisions and learning from experience. Super important aspect. So AI is transforming various industries in daily life, making tasks more efficient in terms of accuracy and in terms of accessibility. So AI as a technology is continuing to advance, and its applications are likely to expand even further. Listen, how does AI operate? AI uses what they call algorithms. Now, algorithms are step-by-step sets of instructions that AI systems do follow to perform specific tasks, make decisions, or even solve problems. Now, these algorithms are set at the core of how AI systems operate and function. So the choice of algorithm depends on the specific AI task or application. I'm going to give you some types of algorithms that are used in AI. Number one is what they call supervised learning algorithms. So these are used in tasks where AI system is provided with labeled training data consisting of input or output pairs. So the algorithms learns to map out or to correct outputs by generalizing from the training data. An example is what they call linear regression, which is used for predicting a continuous output based on input features. In terms of, for example, decision trees used for classification and regression tasks, dividing the data into subsets based on specific features. Another is in terms of what they call neural networks, used for complex tasks like image and speech recognition. And another type of algorithm is what they call unsupervised learning algorithm. These are used, for example, when the AI system is provided with data without labeled output, and the idea goal is to find patterns or structures in data. Examples would include things like what they call k-means clustering, which is used for grouping similar data points into clusters. Another would be in terms of what they call the principal component analysis, what they call PCA, which is used for dimensional reduction or dimensionality in terms of reduction. And then there's what they call hierarchical clustering. We used to build a tree of clusters. Now, another form of algorithm, which is the third one, is what they call reinforcement learning algorithm. Now, these are used in environments where AI agents interact with the world and receive rewards or penalties. So the agent learns to take decisions or actions and maximize cumulative rewards. An example is, for example, what they call Q-learning. Q-learning is basically used in environments to learn, for example, what they call optimal policies. There's what they call also deep Q networks, what they call DQN, which combines Q-learning with deep neural networks for complex tasks. And then there's also what they call policy gradient methods, which is used in terms of problems with high dimensional actions and spaces. Another form of algorithm is what they call natural language processing, which is a very common one, I think. Now, these are specialized algorithms for tasks related to human language, such as text analysis, translation, and even sentiment analysis. I'll give an example. An example would include what they call tokenization. Tokenization basically involves breaking text into individual words or tokens. Another could be in terms of what they call part of speech tagging, what they call assigning grammatical labels to words in a sentence. And then aspects in what they call named entity recognition, which involves identifying entities like names, locations, and even organization in text. Then another form of algorithm is what they call genetic algorithm. Now, these are basically inspired by the process of what they call natural selection and evolution, and they are used for optimization and search problems, such as finding the best parameters in terms of machine learning models, and another kind is what they call the Monte Carlo methods. Now, Monte Carlo methods, these are used for what they call approximating solutions in problems with high degree of uncertainty, like games or even simulations. So please understand that algorithms basically operate by following, as I said, a series of steps or rules based on the input data they receive. So I'm going to give you a simplified overview of how these algorithms do function. Number one, please understand, they begin by what they call initialization. So the algorithm is set up with an initial parameter or setting. Number two is what they call input. So it receives input data or information from the environment or the user. Number three is what they call processing. So the algorithm performs calculations or operations on the input data based on its predefined rules. Please understand that. And then number four is what they call output. Here, it produces an output or result which can be a prediction, a decision, or a new piece of data. And then number 5 is what they call feedback. In some cases, for example, the algorithm receives feedback on its output, which can be used for learning and improving its performance. Please understand that that's the basic way of how algorithms do perform. Now, if you ask me in terms of specific details of how algorithms do function, it can vary significantly because they are designed to solve particular types of problems. Yeah, so AI developers and data scientists usually select the most appropriate algorithms based on the task at hand and fine-tune their parameters to achieve the desired outcome. So the field of AI, as it continues to advance in terms of leading the development of new and more sophisticated algorithms, these are bound to happen. Yeah. Now, I'll give an example of, for example, of the popular one that we all know, perhaps ChatGPT, how ChatGPT or similar language models do function. I'm going to try to break it down chronologically and provide specific examples based on, for example, ChatGPT in terms of its architecture, in terms of what they call natural language understanding and generation. What ChatGPT does is it operates under what they call pre-training. So what ChatGPT goes through a pre-training phase where it learns from massive amount of text data from the internet. So during this phase, the model learns grammar, it learns facts, it learns reasoning abilities, and some level of common sense knowledge. Please understand that. Now the model is actually trained to predict the next word in a sentence based on the context of the previous words. So this process basically involves training a deep neural network with many layers of parameters. Yeah? Are we together? Number 2 is what they call tokenization. Now, under this, the text input is actually tokenized into smaller units, such as words or subwords, and then converted into numerical representations that the model can work with. For example, the sentence "translate hello" into French is tokenized, for example, into "translate hello" into French, broken down into small pieces. That's the argument I'm going to say. Number 3, in terms of procedure, is what they call contextual understanding. So what ChatGPT does, it uses what they call a transformer, the architecture, to understand the context of the input. So transformers are actually designed to consider the relationship between the words in a sentence and capture long-range dependencies. For example, when processing the input, translate hello into French, the model understands that it is a translation task. Simple. Number 4 is what they call generation. We're understanding how ChatGPT, for example, works. Under generation, once the context is understood, the model can then generate the text as an output. So it predicts the next word based on the input context and what it has learned during pre-training. I'll give an example. For example, translate hello into French. The model might generate the output as bonjour, right? So please understand that. Then number 5, as another aspect, is what they call fine tuning. So after pre-training, what ChatGPT does, it undergoes fine tuning on specific data sets to make it more useful and controlled. So fine tuning can actually involve narrowing down responses to make them safer or more aligned with certain guidelines and policies. Are we together? Number 6 is what they call response post-processing. Some responses generated by the model might not be perfect or might need to further processing. So chat systems often include what they call post-processing steps to correct grammar, for example, remove offensive content, or even improve the coherency of the responses. Yeah? And then another aspect is what they call user interaction. So what ChatGPT does, it typically is deployed as a chatbot or a conversational agent. So it uses what they call input text, and the model processes the input to generate responses. So the model can engage in a back and forth conversation, maintaining the context across multiple turns. And then another aspect that is extremely important is what they call ongoing learning. Now, language models like ChatGPT are typically, static after deployment, but can be updated periodically as new data becomes available or as researchers can make improvements in the underlying algorithms. That's extremely important. I'll give an example in terms of a conversation. For example, you could say, you may be the user, and you say, "What's the weather like in Kampala today?" Yeah, in terms of ChatGPT, it may say, I am not sure. You can check the weather website or app for the most updated information. And then you can, still as a user, you can say, can you give me a brief summary of maybe what? Shakespeare's book of Hamlet, or perhaps Lubogo's book on what? Witchcraft and the law, as an example. ChatGPT will say, suddenly, Lubogo writes on witchcraft and the law and makes a proposition that witchcraft is basically an omniscient threat which is very difficult to perceive in the concept of law. But he lays down basic principles in terms of ingredients if you want to find somebody guilty in terms of, that offense. That's an example in terms of that. So please understand that the model provides, as I said, a general response based on the context. It generates a specific response by summarizing that particular context. So that is something you must understand. But please understand that it is important to note that the quality of, for example, ChatGPT's responses may vary. And the model might not always provide perfect or even accurate answers, especially for complex and specialized questions. So what happens additionally is that developers can address these rules and guidelines to improve the response in terms of quality and safety for specific applications. Yeah. Now, studying algorithms from basic to expert level is a comprehensive process. And basically it involves understanding, as I said, fundamentals of algorithms, designs, analysis, and optimization, for example. I'm going to give you quite a breakdown of some key points and concepts that you would cover if you are to progress from what they call a basic to a more expert level in terms of comprehension of what algorithms study would engage. If you're arguing it in terms of a basic level, then you may want to comprehend what they call introduction to algorithms, yeah, by starting to understand that what algorithms are and their importance in terms of computer science, yeah. And then you may want to learn about the characteristics, for example, of good algorithms, such as correctness or efficiency and even simplicity, yeah. And then you may also want to comprehend in terms of what they call algorithm design and analysis. And here you probably want to understand and comprehend things to do with the basics of designing algorithms, including what they call problem-solving techniques, or what they call pseudocodes, and even flowcharts, yeah. And under that, you may also want to understand the introduction in terms of time and space complexity analysis, or what they call the big O notation, and the importance of efficient algorithms. Then also, you may also want to comprehend what they call data structures. Under that, you may want to explore fundamental data structures, such as arrays, or even linked lists, for example, or even stats and even checks, okay, or queues for that purpose. So you must understand when and why to use specific data structures for different tasks. And then you may also want to comprehend what they call sorting and searching algorithms, another aspect for basics. And you may have to learn common sorting algorithms, for example, what they call bubble sort, or insertion sort, or even quick sort, and even what they call mark sort. So, and searching algorithm, for example, what they call linear search and binary search. So it helps you to analyze time and even space complexity in terms of these algorithms. Another important aspect is in terms of what they call recursion, yeah? Under recursion, you have to understand the concept of recursion and how to design, for example, and analyze what they call recursive algorithm. So, for example, you may want to study examples like recursive, fractional and even Fibonacci calculations, for example. That would give you a basis of that. Then another important aspect is what they call graph theory. Here you'll probably be introduced in terms of what they call basic graph theory concepts, including vertices and edges and graph representation. So you may want to learn about what they call graph transversal algorithms like depth first search, other people call it DFS, and even what they call breadth first search. You also may want to understand, if you're arguing it in terms of what they call the intermediate level of understanding or comprehension of algorithm, then you may want to go deeper in terms of dynamic programming. Here you may want to study dynamic programming in terms of techniques for solving problems with the overlapping sub-problems, yeah? In terms of exploring examples such as what they call knapsack problem and even what they call Fibonacci sequence. That's another aspect that is important. And then you may also comprehend what they call greedy algorithms, understanding the greedy algorithm paradigm, which makes locally optional choices at each step. You may want to learn about applications in scheduling and even optimal change in terms of the making, yeah? And then you may also want to comprehend aspects to do with what they call divide and conquer as an aspect in terms of algorithms, which will help you to explore the divide and conquer algorithms, which break problems into smaller, sub-problems and even combine their solutions. So study examples like, the merge sort and the quick sort algorithms, fall under that particular emblem. Then you may also want to complex, if you're arguing in terms of what they call complex data structures, then you have to divulge into what they call data structures, including what they call trees, what they call binary trees or FVL trees or hash tables and even heaps. So you have to learn when and how to use these structures for various scenarios. Yeah. And then another important aspect is what they call graph algorithms. Under this, you probably want to comprehend things like exploring advanced graph algorithms, including what they call disk-trackers algorithm for the shortest path, and topological sorting, and even minimum spanning trees. For example, Prim's and even Cruciasa's algorithms. Yeah. So that's another aspect in terms of intermediate algorithms. Now, if you're talking about advanced algorithm, which is a bit complex, you may want to comprehend in terms of what they call string algorithms. This basically will help you in terms of studying string matching algorithms, including what they call NAT, Morris-Pratt, some people call it KMP, and what they call Boyer-Moore algorithms. So you may want to learn about text comprehension and techniques like Huffman coding, for example. That is another super important aspect. Then still under advanced, you comprehend what they call network flow algorithms to understand the network flow problem and algorithms like, for example, what they call Ford-Fulkerson and even Edmonds cap for solving solutions. Yeah, and then you may want to study applications in transportation and even network designs as well. You may also comprehend what they call approximation algorithm, which will help you to learn about approximation algorithms that provide what they call near optimal solutions for NP and even hard problems. Yeah, and to explore the concept of inapproximatability, which is extremely, again, important in that aspect. Another aspect under advanced is what they call randomized algorithm. Yeah, and under that you study algorithms that actually use what they call randomization for solving problems efficiently. So you explore concepts like Monte Carlo and even what they call Las Vegas algorithm that would comprehend in terms of that. So in terms of advanced topics still, you comprehend things depending on your interest, and you may develop into specific areas such as quantum algorithms, or even computational geometry, for example, or even parallel algorithms and the likes. Now, if you're arguing algorithms in terms of an expert level, that becomes again more deeper. Yeah, here you may want to comprehend things in terms of what they call research and specialization. So at the expert level, you may choose to specialize in algorithm research or a specific area within the field, such as machine learning algorithms, quantum algorithms, or even algorithmic game theory. And I'm talking about high things now. Yeah, and then you may also want to talk about what they call contributions and publications. Yeah, publish several papers, for example, in repeated conferences and even journals to make significant contributions in the field of algorithms. That is another important aspect. And then you could also argue that in terms of what they call mentorship and teaching. Yeah, here we are arguing in terms of aspiring algorithm enthusiasts and teaching advanced algorithm courses, for example, in academic or even at professional level. So remember, basically, my friend, that in terms of becoming an expert in algorithms is a continuous and evolving process. And staying up to date with the latest development in the field is extremely crucial, by the way. And therefore, practical implementation in terms of real-world problems, especially problem solving, is equally important as a theoretical ground or in terms of knowledge in the field of algorithmic studies as it were. So please understand that when you're arguing artificial intelligence, it's very important to know that, as I said, it has various advantages, but it has also come with a share of challenges. So additionally, AI applications are diverse, and as I said, they continue to evolve, shaping the future of technology and society. And I'm going to give you, in terms of what you consider advantages and perhaps challenges, and in terms of current applications and the future prospect of what AI has for us as the future. If you're talking about advantages of AI, then number one that comes to mind would be what they call automation and efficiency. Yeah, AI can actually automate repetitive and labor-intensive tasks, reducing human effort and error. Remember that. It also enhances efficiency in industries such as manufacturing, logistics, and even customer service. Yeah. Number two, as another advantage, is it would help in what they call data analysis and pattern recognition. So AI can process and analyze vast amounts of data quickly, extracting valuable insights and identifying patterns that humans might actually miss. Yeah. So it is actually used for data-driven decisions making, for example, finance or marketing or even healthcare. Yeah. Number three, as an advantage, it can also be used in terms of what they call personalization. So what happens is that AI-powered recommendation system provide personalized content in terms of product recommendations and even services, improving user experiences. Examples would include, for example, Netflix content recommendation or Amazon's product suggestions, for example. And then another advantage is natural language processing, which is NLP. So NLP basically enables machines to understand and generate what they call human language, making chatbots, for example, or virtual assistants, and even language translation tools possible. So it will enhance customer support and even communication. Remember that. Another advantage will be in terms of what they call image and speech recognition. Yeah, so AI can actually recognize and interpret images and spoken language, leading to applications in what they call facial recognitions, medical imaging, and voice assistance. Yeah, examples would include things like maybe Google's photo image recognition and Apple's Siri. Yeah, that's another one in terms of an advantage. Then you could also argue in terms of what they call autonomous systems. Yeah, AI can actually be used in self-driving cars or even drones and robotics for what they call autonomous navigation and decision making. So it has potential to transform transportation and even logistics. Yeah, talk about Tesla. Okay, the cars that's done by your guy. Yeah, that guy, you know him. So it is extremely important in terms of that context. Then in terms of what they call healthcare advancement, AI assists in medical diagnosis in terms of drug discovery and treatment planning and even improving patient care. When you argue, for example, in radiology, AI helps to detect what they call abnormalities in medical images. Yeah, and that's a super advantage. Then AI can actually be employed in terms of what they call enhanced security. AI enhances what they call cybersecurity by detecting and even mitigating threats in real time. Yeah, so it is used in fraud detection and even network security. Now, having talked about some of the advantages of AI, I would like to argue some of the challenges of AI. If you're talking about a challenge, AI as a challenge, then number one, it has what they call bias and fairness. So AI systems can actually inherit biases from training data, leading to unfair or discriminatory outcomes. So ensuring fairness and addressing bias becomes a super significant challenge for AI. I have seen it, and that's something to look out for. Another challenge is what they call ethical and privacy concern. So AI raises ethical questions regarding decision-making, surveillance, for example, or even data privacy. So striking a balance between innovation and ethical consideration is extremely challenging. Yeah. Another challenge would be in terms of what they call lack of transparency. So AI models, for example, like deep learning, are considered black boxes because they are difficult to understand in terms of their decision-making processes. So in terms of explainability and interpretability, it becomes an ongoing challenge. So that's another challenge in terms of it. Another challenge in terms of AI would be in terms of what they call data quality and quantity. So AI basically relies on, as I said, on high quality and abundant data. So poor data quality can lead to inaccurate results. That's another one. So data privacy regulations and limitations on data collection can also be obstacles when you're arguing in terms of AI. Now, also another challenge will be in terms of what they call job displacement. Yeah. So AI automates tasks, as we've noticed, and there's a concern about job displacement in certain industries. So reskilling, for example, and workforce adaptation become a challenge for the future in terms of that particular context. And then if you're to argue in terms of current applications of AI, where are we seeing AI majorly being employed? Perhaps in terms of a super strength for AI would be in terms of what they call healthcare. Yeah, because AI is used in disease diagnosis, drug discovery, for example, patient monitoring, and even telemedicine. Yeah. Number two, AI can be employed in finance. AI is actually applied in algorithm trading, for example, fraud detection, and even risk assessment. Yeah. Number three, AI can actually be used in terms of retail. AI-powered recommendation system, for example, or even inventory management and what they call cashless stores. That in terms of retail. Yeah. And then in terms of transportation, self-driving cars. I just talked about that. Yeah. And smart traffic management systems all use AI. Yeah. That's another super important advantage. And then in terms of entertainment, AI generates content. For example, it enhances video games and personalizes streaming services, for example. That's another aspect in terms of AI. And then in terms of manufacturing, when you're arguing in terms of robotics, for example, and AI-driven quality control improvement manufacturing processes, yeah? So we see that in the manufacturing industry. If you are to argue AI now, as I said, in terms of what is the future for AI as a prospect, you would argue that AI in education, especially when it deals with personalized learning, intelligence tutoring systems, and even grading automation, are expected to become prominent. Listen, educators, there's no way you're going to run away from AI. AI is going to be helpful in the future in terms of what they call AI climate change mitigation. Yeah, so AI can actually help optimize energy consumption, monitor, for example, climate patterns, and even improve environmental conservation efforts. Yeah, and then another in terms of the future would be what they call quantum AI. So quantum computing combined with AI promises to solve complex problems more efficiently. Yeah. Another future for AI would be what they call AI in space exploration. So AI can actually enhance what they call autonomous decision making for spacecraft and even what they call rover missions, those of the moon and the likes and the sun. Yeah. And then you could also argue that AI for elderly care, for example, AI-driven robots and even devices can actually assist the elderly care and healthcare in terms of aging population. Yeah, so that's another super important one. And then another is that AI ethics and regulation in terms of the future. Future prospects include stronger AI ethic guidelines and government regulations to ensure responsible AI development and even deployment. So listen, the point is that AI's potential is vast and continues to expand across industries. So as it advances, addressing its challenges and ethical consideration will be very, very crucial to harness its benefit for society's greater good. I mean, there are those who argue, if you watch some movies where they argue that AI or robotics is just an enemy of mankind, I think you have to think twice in terms of that. And should the world be worried about that? The idea is that the world should overcome AI intelligence for several compelling reasons. The argument is that the world should welcome it in the sense that it has efficiency and automation. AI can automate repetitive and time-consuming tasks, leading to increased efficiency in various industries. It frees up space for human workers from mundane work, for example, allowing them to focus on more creative and strategic aspects of their jobs, which is, I think, is a fair deal. And then in terms of economic growth, AI has the potential, for example, to drive economic growth by improving productivity in terms of competitiveness, and also it can create what they call new industries and job opportunities, stimulating innovation and even entrepreneurship. Yeah, and then aspects in terms of what they call enhanced decision making. Yeah, AI can actually analyze vast amounts of data quickly and accurately, providing valuable insights for better decision in terms of decision making. But this can actually be especially beneficial in the fields of healthcare, finance, and even logistics. Yeah, and then the aspects of what they call personalization and user experience. So AI-powered recommendation systems provide personalized content and services which help enhancing user experiences. For example, it improves content recommendations on streaming platforms and even tailor advertising to individual preferences. You just have to comprehend the aspect of AI to understand that it's more than what meets the eye. It's really, really something that the future should, in my opinion, embrace. Now, in terms of healthcare advancement, for example, AI aids in medical diagnosis, drug discovery, personalized treatment in terms of plans, and it has actually potential to improve what they call patient care and saving lives by detecting diseases earlier, even more accurately. Yeah. Who can argue against safety and security? Yeah. AI can actually enhance security by detecting and mitigating cyber threats and by providing public safety through what they call technologies like facial recognition and even surveillance systems. Yeah. Who can argue against environmental impact? AI can actually contribute to environmental sustainability by optimizing energy consumption and even monitoring climate patterns and supporting conservation efforts. Yeah. So these are things that you cannot argue against. In terms of scientific discovery, AI is an invaluable aspect in terms of scientific research, helping scientists to analyze complex data, to run simulations, for example, and even discover patterns in various fields from, astrophysics to genomics, yeah, what they call genomics, yeah. So you could argue that as well. And then you could also look at it in terms of education and personal growth, yeah. AI can actually support personalized learning and provide resources to students and learners in terms of intelligent tutoring systems that can adapt to individual learning styles and even help students to achieve their full potential. Who doesn't want to live in this world that we're about to see, that we are figuring in our minds, yeah? Save from the ethical disadvantages that I talked about and the stereotypes that have been blended on demonization of AI. But health and wellness, for example. AI applications in wearables, for example, in terms of health monitoring, can actually help individuals lead a much healthier life in terms of providing insights into their physical well-being and even suggesting lifestyle improvements. Yeah. AI in terms of, for example, as an aid to the disabled, AI-driven assistive technologies like speech recognition or what they call prosthetics in terms of improved health quality for people living with disabilities. How about aspects in terms of space exploration? AI becomes crucial in terms of autonomous decision-making for spacecraft and rovers and expanding our understanding of the universe. Yeah? Think about that. Think about that. And then in terms of humanitarian aid, AI can actually be used for disaster response and relief efforts, helping to allocate resources in terms of aiding efficiently during crises, for example. Yeah? And in terms of innovation and research, AI-driven research and innovation can lead to breakthroughs in areas like material science, energy, and like I argued in terms of medicine. Yeah? So please understand that while there are challenges and concerns associated with AI, which are basically ethical considerations and potential job displacement, the overall benefits that it offers society can be significant. So my argument is that by embracing AI with proper oversight, ethical guidelines, and commitment in terms of addressing these challenges will definitely lead to a future where AI enriches our lives and actually contributes to solving some of the world's most pressing problems. Yeah? Please understand that the argument I'm presenting here is that in terms of artificial intelligence, we must comprehend that it presents, no doubt, several ethical challenges that the world needs to address. And some of these ethical challenges basically associated with AI, and those who argue against it on an ethical ground is, as I say, in terms of bias and fairness, where they're arguing that algorithms or AI algorithms can actually inherit biases presented in the data used for training, and this can result in terms of discriminatory outcomes or particularly affecting marginalized groups. I've seen that. And the solution could be to overcome bias and promote fairness. The world can actually implement strategies like bias detection and mitigation techniques in terms of diverse and representative training data and guidelines for developing unbiased AI models, or even ongoing auditing and transparency in AI systems that are also essential. So I'm just laying a ground for you guys who want to come up with legislation as far as AI is concerned in the world. Listen to this, because you don't have it anywhere. I'm breaking ground. Privacy concerns, for example. AI systems often require access to personal data for training and operation. Yeah, so raising privacy concerns is really important. So unauthorized data collection and surveillance are issues in terms of ethical significance. What solution can we have? We're arguing that privacy legislation and standards such as what they call the GDPR, for example, in Europe, can provide a framework for data protection. So organizations should prioritize user content and what they call data anonymization and even secure data storage to mitigate privacy concerns. Yeah? How about aspects in terms of transparency and accountability? Many AI models, especially in deep learning models, are actually considered black boxes, yeah, making it difficult to understand their decision-making processes. So lack of transparency can actually hinder accountability. And in terms of the solution, we're arguing that we can actually have the development of what they call transparent AI models, interpretable algorithms, for example, and explainability tools. It becomes therefore crucial. So regulations and standards can also be put in place to hold organizations accountable for the consequences of AI decisions. Yeah? If you're arguing in terms of autonomy and responsibility, yeah? The point is simple. Autonomous AI systems such as self-driving cars can actually make life and death decisions, no doubt. So determining responsibility in cases of AI errors or accidents becomes a complex and ethical issue. And in terms of a solution, the argument should be that legal frameworks and guidelines need to be established to define the responsibilities of AI developers and the operators. So these include, for example, making laws, assessing liability, insurance, and even accident reporting. Where we are. Right? In terms of job displacement, which is a big fear for almost everyone, the idea is that the widespread adoption of AI and automation can actually lead to job displacement, potentially creating economic and social challenges. And the argument here is that the world is changing. So the solution is prepare the workforce for the AI era through reskilling and upskilling programs, yeah, and implementing policies for employment transition that can help mitigate the impact of what? Job displacement. No doubt, prepare yourself. That's the argument. In terms of security and misuse as a challenge, AI can actually be used for malicious processes. No doubt about that, such as creating what they call deepfake videos or hacking or cyber attacks. So ensuring AI is not used for harm is a significant ethical challenge. Yeah, I think I've seen that ethics takes a big approach. In terms of solution, we need to provide what they call stronger cyber security measures, regulations in terms of AI applications, and international cooperation to combat AI-related threats that are essential. I think the question of AI now should be a world thing, not even an isolated thing. How about aspects in terms of data privacy and ownership? Determining who owns and controls the data, used by AI systems is a complex issue. So users' rights to their data and content for data usage must actually be respected. Yeah, and the answer is simple. Simply, clear data ownership and content policies, should be in place, along with what they call secure data sharing mechanism that should be established in terms of blockchain technology and decentralized and even data ownership models that can actually be explored. Yeah. How about the fear of AI in warfare? That's another one. Yeah. The development and the use of AI in warfare, including autonomous weapons, raise ethical concerns about the potential for unintended harm or even civilian casualties. The solution is simple. There should be a global commitment in terms of regulating and limiting the use of AI in warfare, such as through international treaties and agreements. It is essential to prevent the misuse. So all these things are plausible. Just imagine the day they discovered electricity, or the day they discovered what? The day they discovered nuclear or atomic bombs. The argument is that there were calamities, yes, but there were laws that now govern. So overcoming these ethical challenges requires, as I said, a multifaceted approach involving government, involving industry, involving stakeholders, researchers, and the public. So this approach should actually include the development of ethical guidelines, regulations, and standards, as well as ongoing research into ethical AI practices. Public awareness, for example, in terms of engagement, in terms of discussions about what AI ethics are, how crucial they are, how beneficial they are, and how they can be harnessed responsibly and ethically. Collaboration on a global scale becomes essential in terms of AI ethical challenges, in terms of comprehensibility. Yeah? Please understand that there are many AI tools available, and their importance can vary depending, as I said, on your specific need and goal. I'll try to list down some of the tools that with the applicability of AI has actually been employed. You may want to look at what they call machine learning frameworks. Here we're talking about TensorFlow, for example, or PyTorch. These frameworks actually provide the foundation for developing and training machine learning models. TensorFlow and PyTorch are actually two of the most popular ones, and they're widely used for deep learning tasks. Yeah. And then the other is in terms of natural language processing, NLP libraries, for example, SPICY or NLTK. Yeah, NLP libraries enable the processing and analysis of what they call text data. So SPICY and NLTC are actually important for tasks like text classification and sentiment analysis and even language understanding. And then your guy, OpenAI, ChatGPT-3 and later models ChatGPT-4. Now I'm told it's ChatGPT-5. ChatGPT and similar models are crucial in terms of what they call natural language generation and understanding, and they can be used for chatbots or even content generation and for various language-related tasks. Yeah, and then you could argue also in terms of what they call computer vision libraries, what they call OpenCV. Yeah, computer vision libraries like OpenCV are essential for image and video processing, and they are used in applications such as object detection and even facial recognition and even image manipulation. That's another important aspect. You could also argue it in terms of what they call reinforcement learning frameworks, in terms of OpenAI Gym. Yeah, and these frameworks are actually crucial for developing AI agents that actually learn through interaction with an environment. So OpenAI Gym is a popular choice for reinforcement learning tasks. So that is something that is extremely important for you to comprehend. Then you may also want to look at what they call Scikit-learn. Yeah, Scikit-learn is a versatile library for various machine learning tasks, offering what they call tools for data pre-processing in terms of model selection and evaluation. So it's important for beginners and even experts alike. You may want to comprehend that as well as another component. Then there's also what they call Jupyter notebooks. In terms of Jupyter notebooks provide an interactive environment for data exploration in terms of visualization and code documentation, for example, and they are widely used for data science and even machine learning projects. Yeah, and then you may also want to comprehend what they call automated machine learning, what they call AutoML. Yeah, so in terms of platforms, for example, Google AutoML or HO2.ai. Yeah, so Auto ML tools simplify the machine learning processes, making it accessible to non-experts, and they automate model selection and what they call hyperparameter tuning and also deployment. Yeah, and then another applicability could be in terms of what they call IBM Watson. Yeah, here we are saying that IBM Watson basically offers a range of AI services and tools for various applications, including natural language understanding and even computer vision and even chatbots. Yeah, so you may also want to explore a little bit of that, and you may also want to talk about what they call AWS machine learning in terms of Amazon Web Services. Yeah, which provides a suite of machine learning tools and services, making it easier to build and even train and even deploy AI models. Please understand that these things I'm talking about are there and they're happening and they're important, and as a world we should be ready for that. So the importance of these tools, as I said, depends on your specific AI project in terms of your requirement. For beginners, learning foundational concepts through machine learning frameworks and even library becomes extremely crucial. For specialized libraries like NLP or computer vision tools becomes essential for tasks in those domains. So ultimately, the choice of the most important AI tool will depend on the problem you're trying to solve and the expertise you may actually have in using this tool. So I may argue certain other aspects in terms of important AI tools in terms of domain and applicability. You may want to remember or perhaps pay special attention to what they call XGBoost or XGBoost. Yeah? In terms of this is a popular and efficient machine learning algorithm known for its performance in structured tabular data problems like regression and even classification. Yeah, and then you may also want to talk about the called Hugging Face transformers. This library is widely used in terms of natural language processing tasks, particularly for working with pre-trained transformers models like BART or even GPT-2 and more. Yeah, and then you may also want to comprehend things like Pandas. Yeah, Pandas is an essential Python library for data manipulation and even analysis, and it's invaluable in terms of cleaning, transforming, and even exploring data sets. Another aspect that you may want to comprehend is what they call Tabler. Now, Tabler is a data visualization tool that uses AI for automating insights and even providing interactive visualization for data. So you may want to comprehend that as well. I know I talked about IBM Watson, but maybe I'll need to explain in terms of what they call IBM Watson Studio. So the IBM Watson Studio is a comprehensive AI platform that includes tools for data preparation, for model development, and for deployment, making it suitable for an end-to-end AI projects as well. Then another applicability would be in terms of what they call Keras. Keras basically is a high-level neural network in terms of API that's user-friendly and often used for quick prototyping of what they call deep learning models. So that's another aspect that you may want to comprehend. You may also look at what they call PySpark. Okay, PySpark. PySpark is a Python library for working with big data, particularly with Apache Spark, for example, which is essential for distributed data processing and even machine learning. You please remember also AutoML platform, for example, DataRobot or even Databricks and even AutoML. These platforms basically automate the end-to-end machine learning processes from data pre-processing to model selection, and even helping organizations rapidly deploy in terms of AI solutions. Then in terms of IBM Watson natural language understanding as well, this AI tool basically provides powerful text analysis in terms of capabilities, in terms of including sentiment analysis and entity recognition and the concept of extraction. You may also want to comprehend what they call Microsoft Azure machine learning. Yeah, Microsoft Azure offers a suite of what they call AI and machine learning services tools in terms of infrastructure for building and training and even deploying what they call AI models. So I'm just trying to go through some of those components for you so that you can understand the big game of AI in terms of its essence. It's a force to reckon with. It's a necessary evil. So the importance of these tools, as I said, depends on your specific use in terms of your domain and what you're working on, whether you need that data in terms of analysis or deep learning or big data processing or specialized services. So these tools are available to suit your need, and the selection obviously for the most important tool will be influenced by the task and the goals that your AI project is intended. I'm going to give you certain AI tools and services including things like Jenny and PaperPal, that are super important in terms of you who are doing research. I'm talking about research, academic research. Jenny AI is a super important tool. Jenny AI is an AI-powered personal assistant that can actually help with tasks like rescheduling or answering questions and even providing recommendations. And it's designed to make your life more convenient for those of you who are doing the academics. Then PaperPal is another one. Many people just know ChatGPT. They forget Jenny, they forget PaperPal. PaperPal is another. PaperPal is an AI tool designed to assist with academic writing and research. And it can actually help generate citations, summaries, and even provide suggestions for improving the quality of academic papers. Think about that. Then there is Bing AI, Microsoft Chat Engine. Bing has even co-opted now ChatGPT 4. Think about that, free of charge moreover. So while not strictly an AI tool, Bing uses AI algorithms in terms of research and provides features like visual search, intelligent image recognition, language. It can even draw pictures, nice images. Find it, my friend. There's also what they call IBM Watson Discovery. Watson Discovery is an AI tool that enables business to extract insights and knowledge from unstructured data, particularly useful for analyzing large volumes of what they call textured data. Then there's another one, super nice, Grammarly. Grammarly. Man, Grammarly AI. Grammarly uses AI to provide real-time grammar and even spelling suggestions. It's helpful in terms of a tool for those of you who are doing research, academic research, for improving writing quality from emails to documents. Man, you just get hold of Grammarly. This is what they call Zapier. Zapier is another automation tool that uses AI to connect various web applications and automate tasks, allowing data flow seamlessly between different services. Yeah. Another aspect that you may want to comprehend is what they call Dialogflow. Okay, Dialogflow. Dialogflow is a Google Cloud service for building conversation interfaces like chatbots, and it is used to create natural language understanding and even generation in terms of application. Yeah. I will not emphasize ChatGPT 4 and 5. Some of them are now used for Premiere. Basically, you may want to understand that it helps you in terms of answering questions and providing information on various topics. Yeah, it has its issues, but another important aspect to venture in. Then there's what they call Salesforce Instant. Salesforce Instant is an AI-powered CRM platform. It provides for insights and predictions that enhance customer relationship in terms of management and even sales. Another aspect that is probably nice is what they call Google Cloud AI. Google Cloud AI offers suites for AI tools and even services, including what they call natural language processing in terms of computer vision, machine learning, making it suitable for a wide range of AI applications. So listen, there's quite a lot that you would go on, but you just have to open your mind up and get yourself out of the box and throw that funny box away. So as I said, the dependence of these tools depends on your specific need. Yeah, and Jenny, for example, PaperPal are specialized in their respective domains, while services like Bing, Grammarly, and Zapier are versatile tools for various tasks. So you have to understand that each AI may be relevant depending on what is appropriate for you. Okay, perhaps the better thing is to, if you are not sure, is to find out and see how relevant whatever tool is relevant in terms of the task that you may want to do, so that your work becomes a little bit easy. So rather than victimizing and having some people bashing AI and its applicability, I think the point is to try to accommodate and acclimatize ourselves with this new normal of AI and seeing how best to keep in tune with it, okay, and understanding how it operates and comprehending it. Soon I'll tell you about ChatGPT 0, okay, as an anti-plagiarism ChatGPT tool. But there's also what they call Unredo. Unredo is another one. Find out what Unredo it does in terms of you guys who are doing research. As I said, look for PaperPal. Find out what PaperPal does. Look for Elicit. What Elicit does. Look for Connected Papers. Connected Papers is a tool that helps researchers discover and even explore academic papers based on the relationship between papers. It can actually help users find related research, understand the context of a paper, and even discover new papers in a particular field. Yeah, I just told you about Jenny AI. Yeah, and sometimes there's another one called Genito, which is also more like Jenny AI. Then there's what they call Skite AI. Skite AI is a platform, for example, that uses AI to help researchers discover and even validate validate scientific papers. It actually analyzes and categorizes scientific articles and provides citation context to help users evaluate the credibility and reliability of a paper. Yeah, there is another one called researcher.life. Yeah, as another AI. There is another what they call trinker.ai. Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on and on and on, but I promised to talk about ChatGPT Zero. Remember, ChatGPT Zero is basically a reference model that interacts with ChatGPT 3 and other successors, and basically helps to find out the machine language that is possible in the letter or the document that you probably use. Yeah, more like Turnitin, yeah, of sorts. I think I talked about connected papers as a tool for exploring academic papers in terms of their relationship. I may have missed Mendeley. Mendeley becomes a referencing manager and academic social network. That's super important. Then there is also Zotero. Zotero is another free open source reference management tool that helps researchers to collect and even organize, cite, and even share the research materials, and allows for easier storage and even management of references and citation. Yeah, and that's the amazing thing. We are living in a world where now it's not just a question of bring me that research paper. You have not underlined, you have not done this, there are textual things. It's much more than that. This is what they call EndNote. EndNote is a commercial reference management software that is used for organizing and managing bibliographical, for example, references and even citations. It's widely used by researchers, especially in the academia. This is what they call Notion, for example. Notion is another versatile productivity tool that combines note-taking, project management, and even database features. You see, so all these things are coming up in the world today, and perhaps the idea is rethinking our education system. For those of you who are supervising, yeah, masters, undergraduate, PhD level, some of you are too proud and arrogant that you depend on basic things rather than understanding and comprehending that the world is changing and we have to change with it. That's the point. This is what they call scholarly. Scholarly is a term that is used to describe content, and it helps in academic peer review, for example. It as an AI tool. Yeah. So as I said, the availability and the future of AI is enhanced, is big, and is rapidly evolving. And some of you who are supervisors and you are relying on past intellectual glory and you fail to acclimatize yourself with the changing environment, you begin victimizing people who are thinking outside the box and throwing the box away. But the world will judge you tomorrow. The point is we have to learn to acclimatize. We have to learn to move with this trend. Students are coming up with new inventions. Guys are coming up. I've been observing quite a number of people who come to give me commencement speeches at Harvard University, for example, are people who dropped out of Harvard. The likes of Steve Jobs, the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, the likes of this Microsoft guy, Bill Gates. Yeah? Why is that so? Why don't they just throw them outside the box and say, you gave up, don't even deal with us? Why is that so? There's a guy in Zimbabwe who actually was thrown out on his proposal on a PhD level because the supervisor felt like it was not in tandem with their feelings, yeah, or whatever they thought was the standard. He walked out of the university, went and wrote, out of the very thesis that they rejected, wrote a book, and it became a bestseller. Then 5 years down the road, they call him and say, we're going to give you an honorary degree, or Horace Causa degree, a PhD. And he refused, he just sent his wife to represent. I know others who have been thrown off, even from Oxford to other universities. So the point is, well, the world is big, guys. The standard that we're using to judge and gauge our students or the brilliance of our students is not no more a question of bring that paper. It's now a question of inventive step. The fact that does this person have the ability to think out of the box? My option would be degrees should not even be blessed or blended on how a student actually participated on that day, on that fateful day, and excelled and got whatever they got. It's a cumulative effect. It's in terms of productivity. How many professors or PhD holders we have today that even have unpublished, books in terms of the thesis that they did when they're doing the Viva course? Think about that. Or how many have they written books? More than 5. Mentioned in this country, 5 people, just 5 people who have more than 5 standing books. Think about that. And you're saying you're professing your PhD. And I'm not victimizing anyone. I'm only saying that I'm part of the struggle. I put myself in that same box. I know there's peer review, there's stuff like that. All those are important. They're super important for us to have a system, an accredited system that is watertight. But the point is, let's not kill the dreamers. The point is, let's motivate our people. Let's think outside the box and throw the box away. Let's celebrate people. Let's celebrate invention. Let's celebrate people who think outside the box. So some universities ought to take time and even begin giving out honorary degrees to people who have taken serious development in this country. You know, even in terms of music, they may not have gone to university, but they have blended our country with beautiful music or beautiful inventions in terms of business or in terms of inventions. You know them, I'll not mention the name, but we know them. So that's the point I'm trying to say, that education is much bigger than what we think. So some of you who have these cocoons and you think you're untouchables, the world is changing. And by the time you discover whatever you're holding on as extremely precious has left you and it has become obsolete, nugatory for that purpose. Once again, my name is Isaac Christopher Lubogo. Listen, this is Sui Generis. Find our books at lubogo.org, suigerisblowup.com. Thank you and God bless you.